we are live. What is going on, people, internet, and band? We've got Carl, we've got Tosh, we've got Sasha, and myself. My name's Scott, and we're in the band Alice, and we're doing our Sunday Hang series here on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube, and yeah, we've been doing our shipping day. So like Sundays are typically the days that we ship all the orders that come in. So we're like packing starter packs and like VIP bundles and stuff, and getting all those out packed and ready. We also made some pizza, so that was really fun. If you follow our Instagram, you can see the pizza that we ate earlier. So, but yeah, we're just here to hang. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We're in the middle of tour prep. We're in the middle of getting this music video ready for Steamy. You all hopefully saw the little preview we put out last week. There'll be some more sneak peeks like coming up, you know. But yeah, how are you guys, band? How's your week been?
Right now, belly full of pizza. Can't complain.
Yes,
It's glorious.
awesome. And Sasha, looks like you're out in the sun wherever you are.
I'm not in the sun. I am in
Oh,
the
okay.
shade. Yes, I
Shaded
am in
by
the shade.
amazing
I'm
hat.
shaded by this large hat and my sunny sunglasses. No, but I am outside. I am also belly full of pizza, but I came out onto the porch so that we weren't all like ringing because we're all shipping. So
yeah, we're all making the shipments and stuff. But yeah, so we're here.
I'm saying some great saying hello to Russell and Sean and Jason and Katie, Angel. It's so good to see y'all. Hello, Peter. Katie is actually asking if we have any recommendations for guitars. Scott, do you have any guitar recommendations?
Just like a guitar, just guitar?
I think, yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's a hard thing. It depends on like if I was to have a conversation, I would give you a recommendation depending on like what place you are at as a guitarist. Like if you're just starting versus like you've been playing for 5 years, or you've been playing for a couple of years, or like you've been playing for 30 years and you're like, I really want to get a new guitar. I'm sick and tired of the Stratocaster. I'm gonna get rid of it. So I mean, there's a lot of different variables, but with that said, I'm going to assume that you might be starting out. So with that assumption going, I personally started with a Fender Strat Squire. They're very affordable. Like I think they're like, when I got mine, it was like $200 or something. You could also find stuff on eBay, that sort of thing. But I recommend starting out just getting something that's like relatively cheap so that you could just get started. Don't worry too much about like the make or the model, really. The Fender Strat, the Squire was like just so happened to be a good one to get at the time. But there could be any number of guitars available right now. But my advice is to just get started and just start playing and learn the ins and outs of it. And that's my answer.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
I think more than anything, like finding the instrument that feels good for you. I'm a piano player myself, but like my first keyboard, it wasn't about how fancy can I get, but just like, how can I connect with an instrument and, what feels good. So if you really like the way it feels and the way it sounds, like because I started off on piano myself, I really like weighted keys, as like not everyone likes weighted keys on keyboards. So I'm not sure how it works on guitar, but I'm sure there's like different gauges of strings and the distance apart and all of that. So I'm sure there's some that feel probably a little bit better on your hands. So I think it is definitely about being in tune.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we've got some other awesome questions happening here. One that's always a fun question is what artists would you like to tour with? So that's a really fun one. What do you guys think? Tosh, Carl, or Sasha?
Who we want to tour with? Oh my gosh. Besides my awesome bandmates.
right?
I don't know. There's a lot of be amazing to tour with. Like both, I think like modern and like maybe people that are no longer alive. Like there's a lot of artists I look up to. So I'm like, I guess modern artists. I don't know. What do y'all think? I personally love Florence and the Machine. So for just purely personal reasons, it'd be amazing to get to see her every night, and be inspired and blown away. So that would be a really cool one that I would love.
I've been in a very a goofy vaudevillian mood lately, so my answer today would be Tom Waits.
Nice.
That would be so fun.
Right? Oh
Like,
man,
just to like talk with him too, and just like hear his voice all the time, be like, man, I want to know you better. This is gonna be great.
Right?
So
does he talk like that just like normally? Like when you're hanging out, he's like, what's
yeah, he's got that, that voice, you know. I mean,
And he has since he was like 16. Like you see these super young interviews with him, and I expected it to be totally different. It's exactly the same.
He sounds like 250-year-old vampire.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, that would be my answer this week. But if you tune in next time, it'll probably be a different answer.
Which I love. I love that about us, because I feel like we do have lots of different responses to this one. I mean, I think we've talked about how much fun it would be to tour with, like, I don't know, I'd love to tour with Massive Attack, or like, you know, that would be amazing. You know, that would be so inspiring. And but now I want to tour with Gogo Bordello, now that we were talking about touring with Tom Waits. So that sounds, I was like, oh, it changes my mind. That's great. So what about you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I'm trying to think of a band that I know that personally are really fun or interesting to play live with, but at the same time, like, I have like the heroes band, like the bands that I'm like super fans of, you know. So I'd love to tour with like a band like Nine Inch Nails and geez, I don't even, yeah, Massive Attack. You were like right on the nail on the head on that one. Like, I've seen them twice in concert, and they're incredible as a live band. You know, and I'm trying to think of like a band that would be like insane to tour with. Like, I got a chance to perform, or I opened up for a band called Killing Joke, that a lot of people might be familiar with, and those guys put on like a crazy awesome show, and I got a chance to see them from the side of the stage, and it was like, that would be like, it would be fun to tour with a band where like you could just learn from them every night, you know, like someone who's just like has, you know, some other sort of thing going on that is just so inspiring. You know, that would be really fun. You know, like maybe like the Dresden Dolls or something. That would be a pretty cool tour, I think. Alice and the Dresden Dolls.
That would be amazing. I actually saw the Dresden Dolls at Coachella, and I was just waiting in line for the bathroom, and all of a sudden I see these striped socks walking across the field, and I had a complete fangirl moment, because it was Amanda Palmer, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so I run up to her, and I didn't have any words. I was just like, you're so inspiring. And she was so sweet. Like, she was like, that's so nice. But she gave me a big hug, and just, you know, like, was just very kind. Even though I was just like, I have so many things I want to tell you, but you're just inspiring. Thank you. So yeah, that would be absolutely amazing to get to open for them for sure. So Jace was asking if we could take the time to share our names. I am Tosh. Hello, hello.
I am Scott, or otherwise known as Scotomatic.
Hello, I'm Sasha.
And I am Carl. Hi.
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 Steve and Gordon are not with us today. They are indisposed, but the four of us are joining in. And so yeah. Oh, I saw that Cindy said that she'd love to see us play with Stabbing Westward. We actually got to play with them at the Mechanismus Festival in Seattle, and that was incredible. You know, definitely a dream come true. Talk about an inspiring influence. Chris Hall, his vocals are incredible, and he pulls it off live. It is amazing. Just what an incredible,
he's a beast.
He's an absolute beast. So yeah, it was really inspiring.
Chris Hall, if you're watching, we would tour with you if you wanted us.
Jason, thank you so much. Jason saying to take a moment to say huge thanks to Alice for their time today and blessing us with their amazing talent. And thank you for being so supportive and taking the time to hang out with us and for saying that. That's really, really sweet, and we really appreciate it. So yeah. Oh, I like this from Britt saying that we give them the Queen of the Damned vibes, namely the concert in the desert. That would be very cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, so we're here on our Stream Sunday stream. If you're just tuning in, come hang with us. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat rooms. We're on Facebook Live, or on YouTube and Twitch. So come enjoy, have some tea, and it'll be a fun time. It is a fun time because we're doing it.
So Darren's asking if we're going to be coming to Texas this year. So the sad irony is half of us, well, me, Sasha, and Carl are all from Texas. So that's the motherland. And we did not play any Texas shows this year, which is very strange for us. Normally, we actually really heavily tour Texas because that's where a lot of our friends and family are from. However, we're currently putting together our spring dates, and we're going to have a lot of Texas dates for y'all. So we're going to be hitting up like Houston, Austin, San Antonio. We have that already booked. Lubbock, San Angelo, El Paso. So really looking forward to getting back and seeing some old faces and hopefully some new ones too. So yeah, we're really excited about coming back to Texas.
We got a question.
Mom food.
Yes,
mom food.
Yeah.
And barbecue.
Barbecue.
Barbecue. Yeah.
Sean,
we got a question.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say Rebecca Kelly Hartnett was asking when we're going to be in Seattle again.
Oh, that's a great question. So typically we like to tour Pacific Northwest in the summertime. So probably will be around July. We'll see. Like we're kind of focusing right now on, so we have our upcoming tour coming up, and that's launching September 26th with our live stream. And then we're going to be doing like a string of dates that take us out to the East Coast and back. And then in the spring, we're going to be doing like a longer tour and going to be trying to hit a lot more areas in the Midwest and the East Coast, Texas, and Pacific Northwest probably in the summertime. So we'll definitely keep you all posted for sure. And Sean, we are definitely looking forward to seeing you in Des Moines. We're going to be back in Des Moines in October. That's on our next tour. So we're really excited to come back.
Des Moines is so much fun. Lefty's, the venue there, it's like this amazing, like pretty big venue. It's pretty formidable. And we work with someone there. His name is Zach, and he's so sweet and very kind. There's a company called Cranial Nerves Records, and you know, they were so cool to us. Like they made us like these set list templates, and they're just so great. So we're definitely looking forward to getting back out there.
Oh, so Frank is in Pittsburgh. We're actually going to be playing the Vampire Ball in Pittsburgh. That's happening on October, what is it, 13th, I think, 13th or 14th. I have to look at our dates, but yeah, we're going to be back there. Oh no, I'm sorry, October 7th, because that's Gordon's birthday. Gonna be
yeah, I'm gonna I'll throw up the dates on the stream, like so people can see it. I'm gonna do that. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
So Jace is asking where they can find our music. You can find it on Spotify, on YouTube, on Pandora, there and BandCamp. There are many places to find Alice. You just have to do a search for AL1CE, and then you can.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is cute from Ken. If you could pick one of your songs to be turned into a ringtone, which one and why? I turned Frequency into my ringtone because the "Can You Hear Me" part just works.
Oh, yeah, obviously. That's awesome.
Perfect.
I never even thought about that.
That's so cute. I love that.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm looking for the dates really quick. We have this Dropbox thing where there's like literally like probably 500,000 files, and you have to look in little corners of the Dropbox. It's like these dusty cabinets. Hiding behind them is like, you know, the trove of files and information and things that you're like looking for that you can never find because you're looking for it, you know? That's what I'm doing.
So Angel is asking what kind of advice to give to people with stage fright. I love this question. I have stage fright every single time. I'm super shy, and you know, from the very first time I started singing, I was really, really nervous because I was a keyboard player before I decided to take on the role of being a singer. And I was like, what? I don't have an instrument in front of me that I can hide behind. Like, what do I do with my hands? And so, you know, just I really try, for me, like try to think about like what the energy of nervousness feels like in my body. And then when I really think about it, I think about it as being, it's like a way to transmorph it, where you're like, oh, I feel actually this bubbling energy in my belly. And then when I think about it, I try to like retranslate it where I'm like, it's excitement. And it's like the anticipation of getting to connect to the music and connect to other people and to get to play music with other people that I really love. And I think especially if you really focus on the love aspect, like what is it that you love? I'm not sure if you have a particular instrument or if you're an actor, like, but whatever your platform is or whatever your medium is, just really connect to the joy and the love of what you're doing and what you're trying to say, and like speaking to the truth of what that means to you. I find that when you're just, you know, delivering whatever it is that you're trying to sing or say, that in and of itself has a way of just kind of transporting you. And I mean, you know, for me, the instant the first note hits, like it all just goes away. I don't know. What about my fellow bandmates? Any advice to stage fright?
I definitely, okay, I was gonna say, is Carl and I, one of us is gonna jump in on this. I also have severe stage fright. And when we you know what, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the great stuff. The great stuff is that now getting to work with this group of amazing people, like I know I can lean on them. Like I know if I forget what I'm doing or I get so scared that I can't think, that they're there. And so that part helps so much for me personally. Like I get to do what I do with people I love, and the people I love part is the grand part, you know? So that's really, I really lean on that. And so I find that it helps immensely to remember the why. And everybody has a different why, you know? And so find the why of why am I doing this in the first place? And then there's the joy of it. So for me, it's this group of people. So that solves that problem. I mean, it's not like I don't feel the feeling's still there. It's just workable, throughable, you know? So that's my thoughts.
And
those are good thoughts.
What?
Oh no, I just said those are good thoughts.
Oh,
sorry.
For me, one of my favorite things to do to conquer the stage fright is to, like what Sasha was saying, was to kind of check in with everybody else on the stage, because it's really great because we're all looking up, we're all with each other, and whenever the anxiety of the stage fright starts up, I'll just like kind of look around, and I'm usually right next to Steve, and I'll check in with him, and Scott across the way, Sasha's over there, Gordon's right in front of me. He doesn't turn around and look at me ever, but that's okay. And oh, there's somebody running outside. I thought something was going on. So yeah, having the right group of people, and it's the same thing being in a stage play, is whenever I start really feeling the eyes of the audience. Oh, so we're getting caught in a loop. Oh, I'm gonna mute. That's my answer. I'm gonna mute. That's my answer.
All right. Sounds like the looping is done. I was trying to throw out this like 4-day.
Yeah.
No, we're getting looping again. Okay. So anyone who is not on earbuds right now, make sure they're enabled, because that's what looping will happen. Or if you have the sound of the stream, that's what looping will happen. Or if you have the sound of the stream. Okay. I'm gonna be quiet for 1 second. Let's see if the looping stops. Okay, so when we first started streaming, we ran into this a lot. Okay, I don't think it's happening right now. Sweet, I think we're good. Yay!
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. All right. So yeah, just checking with the people who are with you. It's the way to go. It's really great. Great support system.
Talking about stage fright is awesome. Like I struggled a lot. I still struggle with that like all the time. I'm really nervous in front of people, and I feel like people are looking at me. I feel really self-conscious. But getting on stage with Alice, I actually feel like the way that we do it, like we have sort of like stage makeup, and we have these special outfits that were sort of crafted and created by us. It puts you in a different headspace where, normally like just getting up and like just feeling like a regular person, I'm really nervous. But when I'm on stage with Alex, it's like I feel like I'm like a superhero or something. It's really weird. So I think in that sense, like if I was to give advice to someone about how to deal with stage fright, like maybe find something that makes you feel like a superhero. Like it could be like a necklace or a wristband that someone gave to you, or it could be a full outfit. It could be glasses. It could be you taking off glasses. It could be any little thing where when you change it, like all of a sudden, psychologically, you feel like a different person. And that person doesn't have to be insecure. That person doesn't have to be self-conscious, And that's really what I've sort of learned with Alice. So yeah.
That is the reason I take my glasses off for the shows, because I can't see without them. So I can just see who's here. Everything else is blurry.
That's great. Awesome.
So we're getting a question about if we would tour in the South. And yes, we do tour in the South regularly. We actually on this upcoming tour are going to have some dates that I think would be considered South. We are playing in Tampa and also New Orleans and Georgia as well. And then in the spring, we're going to be touring heavily in Texas. So, we like to tour all over, to be honest. Like I saw some people asking about Alabama, and I'm like, yes, I keep promising we need to make Alabama happen. We have yet to be in Alabama, and I would love to be there. So, yes. I think for us, when it comes to tour planning, like I just finished our tour book in terms of routing and planning. It's a matter of like how many dates can we squeeze into this many weeks, and that's reasonable because we try not to drive more than 9 hours a day, which is still like it's pretty hefty to drive that much, to get from show to show, but it's so worth it, and we love the traveling and we love the touring. So but absolutely we'll if we don't get it this round, we will definitely try to get it in one of the future rounds of touring for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also posted a link to our bands in town site. So if you go there, you can actually see all the tour dates. And what I like about Bands in Town is that it sort of automatically updates with ticket links and everything. So all of our current tour dates have all the information you need, plus ticket links. Each show has a way to buy advance tickets. So if you're going to come out to a show, make sure to get some advance tickets. They're really cheap. We tend to play places that aren't your typical like Live Nation venues, that sort of thing. So like you're not going to be paying like $50, $100 for a ticket. We got looping again. All right, I'm gonna talk some more, and it's looping. Talk some more, and it's weird. Hey Tosh, do you have your speakers on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think it's fixed again. That was weird. So I'm gonna go back to talking about Bands in Town. It's awesome. So check out our Bands in Town link, and that's the place to get all the info you need. All right.
Yeah. Oh, it's Cindy. So sweet, was saying that they hope they can help as fans, help us ground. And absolutely, like, it's so appreciated when we meet with our wonderful hatters, our wonderful community, and people are so kind and generous and share hugs or words of support or just being there and sharing your energy. It absolutely makes a huge difference when I look out and I see just these wonderful eyes of connection. So yeah, it makes a huge difference. And I remember, Cindy, when you introduced yourself in Chicago, and that was just wonderful. So yeah, really looking forward to coming back there.
Jason, the Alice backdrop that we perform in front of on stage and on the live stream, that's the drop cloth. That's a printed drop cloth of our beautiful clock. So thanks for asking.
It's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah, we love it. Chef Stevie B was asking in Twitch if there's an Alice logo tea infuser ball coming, and that is such a good idea. I remember we talked about that in another live stream in the past, and that would be amazing. Like, we should definitely do that. If people don't know, we actually have our own line of tea. So we have Alice and Alice Underground tea. It's the Dreamy and the Drink Me tea. So if you actually join our inner circle, you get tea as part of joining, but you could also just order it like on our website at store.ilikealice.com.
So Sean is asking about our pre-show rituals. And I think all of us have different ones, besides obviously the obvious ones of like loading in and, doing the makeup. Me personally, I like to practice yoga and meditation every morning, and journal. That's just kind of my way of grounding and starting my day off. And so I like to incorporate that into my day. And I do a lot of vocal warm-ups, like different types, depending on the style that I'm singing. So if there's a particular style or a particular song that's being asked from me, like, I like to attend to that with certain warm-ups. And then we like to, do songs together. There's a lot of like me, Gordon, and Sasha warming up, singing certain songs to get our harmonies like really locked in before the show. And it's always fun when everyone can join in. Like, if there's certain songs where we're like, oh, we need to work on this percussion break, like really lock in the rhythm. Like, we try to do that as well. And there's the sound check ritual, which is like, it's really fun, like dialing in, because every room is different. The sonics are very, very different in every room. How we hear ourselves within our in-ears and how we hear each other is really different. So I like to walk the stage when I'm warming up during sound checks. I'll feel the frequencies in different areas of the stage. So I really like to kind of pay attention where I'm like, oh, there's certain frequencies that are a little overbearing, or I'm getting a little feedback here. So for me, part of it is like, sonic testing. So how about y'all?
What was the question again?
Pre-show warm-up rituals.
Oh, pre-show warm-up rituals. I have a ritual where I warm up my fingers for guitar. It's just important to like loosen all your muscles, especially like after loading and setting up gear. Your hands get sort of like frazzled and a little weird. So it's important to have something, at least for me, like as a guitarist, making sure that when I go to perform, like my fingers are moving in the way they need to move and they're not being restricted. So that's always the thing. It usually takes about 15 minutes and it doesn't take too long. So.
Yeah, luckily I don't have to do any sing. Well, luckily for me and for the audience, I don't have to sing, so I don't have to do any vocal warm-ups. And so far, we have not gotten into the budget to have a keyboard to pop out of the side of the van for me to warm up on that. We'll get there. I'm looking forward to it. So my favorite ritual before the shows actually is hanging out at the merch booth and getting to see the bands who are on before us or that may be going on after us, and getting to talk with them, getting to talk with whoever gets to the venue early. And it's actually it is very centering, because you, while you're sitting there, you see the space, you see how it sounds, you can see kind of the flow of everything. So I feel like it's a pretty useful pre-show ritual to just hang out at the merch booth and get to speak with everybody and see the show, kind of.
That's awesome.
For me, I have vocal warm-ups, and then as Tosh was talking about, we'll run stuff together, which is super helpful. Talk about grounding, like that'll really like pull me back into the realm of the here and now, getting to do all of that together, and then getting everybody's paints on, like whether we have an hour or like 4 minutes, that really helps me like kind of remember where I am and what I'm doing. And so that's a really lovely part of it for me, is getting all of that ready to go. And so I think all of it, the whole day is kind of a pre-show ritual, everything from like the getting up and getting started and getting in the van and getting on the road and then petting the dog at the coffee house, like it's all part of the ritual of being on tour. And it's a really wonderful situation, honestly, like because we get into this rhythm, this routine that all leads up to the shows, and then all leads up to the hangout afterwards, and that's a reason to live. So that's there we go, that's my pre-show ritual, is going on tour.
Oh yeah.
Ray is saying, what made you all want to be so active with fans?
Ooh.
Not many bands or groups do that. It's really awesome. And thank you for that. Thank you for being here. We have always loved being interactive with our communities. Like we love touring just from the inception of being a live band. Like that is part of what feeds our souls, is just getting to connect with people through our music. And we really started heavily doing the streaming during the pandemic, 2020. We had 4 tours that were booked, and had to convert them all to being virtual. And that's when we were streaming like nearly every day during our tour times. And we loved getting to just, what I loved was it was so cool. Like you'd stream from Steve's living room, but we'd be interacting with people from all over. In different time zones. So I loved that geography just wasn't an issue at all. So yeah, I think it's just part of our joy. It comes really naturally to us. And we wouldn't be able to do this without our wonderful all y'all. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, I saw that question as well. And it's such a good one, because like you basically answered everything. So yeah, I mean, basically we've always been pretty engaged online, but the pandemic really, like, I don't know, like something switched, like we pivoted and we just went all out online, doing the streaming, and then like building our community, the Mad Hatter Army. It just sort of like became the natural extension of what happened during the pandemic, because we just became totally online, engaged like every single day, streaming, getting used to like being like streaming and being live like a lot. So it sort of just naturally just became an evolution of the band, and after the pandemic, we created what's called the Mad Hatter Army. And Mad Hatter Army is essentially like our fan community, fan club, street team, but it's more than that. It's hard to really define in words, but the community exists in a lot of different online spaces. We have a private Facebook group, we have an email list, we have a Discord server, and we also have something called the Inner Circle, which is basically like a Patreon, so if you're a subscriber, we do monthly tea times where we all hang out together. We also share music ahead of time, ahead of releases. We're about to release Steaming soon, and I'm going to be sharing the music probably next week, because we're basically finished with the song right now, so we're going to share it with our Inner Circle subscribers. But it's more than a Patreon, like it's just everything's a community, like I feel like to me everyone's in the Inner Circle, once you sign up. But yeah, we really appreciate the love, and part of it is giving back, is just being there for you, and it's like the community is part of who we are. We identify as the Mad Hatter Army. So thank you for helping us create this.
Sorry for the struggle bus there. I was looking for which tab do I have the Zoom open in, so I apologize. Are there any new items in the Alice store? Any new items in the Alice store?
I wonder where that's coming from.
In the Alice store.
Where that's coming from. Everyone mute your mute. Just go on mute right now. Okay. Just go on mute right now. It's still looping. Okay. I think it's better. That's so weird. It's like, I don't know where or how or why it's happening. But anyways, okay. So what the question Sasha was asking, Tosh, did you catch that? Was it where can we get merch, or
yes, could we talk about the merch and that there's new stuff in there right now?
Yes, definitely. Well, we have multiple ways of getting merch. First and foremost, we have an online, like official online merch store, which is store.ilikealice.com. And we have like all of our merch up there. We also have something called a starter pack. If you're part of the Mad Hatter Army, you've probably seen a bunch of links to join, but you have the ability to buy what we call the starter pack. And the whole idea of it is we create an individualized, personalized piece of merch. And it's a collection of merch actually, but it's low cost. It's a way to like sort of get started with some physical items that are actually like really personalized for you. And you could find all that at army.ilikealice.com after you sign up for awesome Mad Hatter Army, which that's totally free. Everyone can sign up for free. But yeah, I mean, that's the basic gist of it. You know, we do have a new t-shirt out. It's sort of it's a rehash of an old design. So that's actually up on our BandCamp site. And I did actually throw it onto our regular merch store as well. So that's a fun t-shirt design. It's like the OG Alice logo that we had back in 2012 when we first started the band. And actually, Tosh screen printed, like hand screen printed the first like 5 or 10 shirts herself. And I think those shirts are still in existence. And yeah, they're just awesome shirts. So.
Yeah, when we were first starting out, I love crafting. So I actually have like a handful of like my attempt at trying to, you know, engrave like little USB drives. And I used to put together like the actual CDs with these like paper covers, and then they moved into box sets with our first album release. Our first EP, I think, like it was like this 4 or 5 song, you know, pre-album thing. I think there's a few still floating around, but those were like definitely handcrafted. And yeah, I was getting into screen printing at the time, so there's a few of those shirts still floating around in the nethers. The clock shirt is actually reflective of the very first t-shirt design that we ever did. So that one's very special.
Yeah.
It's like
the clock
anniversary run of our very first design. So
yeah, I'll post links to it because it's awesome. Yeah, it's up on our BandCamp site, so I'll throw it on there. We had a BandCamp Friday. So basically the whole idea of BandCamp Friday is BandCamp is an awesome site for sharing and finding underground, DIY, and independent artists and music. It's a great way to support bands. Or bands, you know, you're basically, when you buy music from them there, it's like a way of really supporting a band directly, other than buying like directly at a show or something like that. But anyways, we threw up the old t-shirt design. So I'll throw up the link for you there.
Oh, we're getting asked if there's any favorites, decorations, costumes, Halloween-y things. We love the Halloweens. Typically, we used to do for the past couple of years like a New Orleans retreat around Halloween. Our tour dates just fell a little bit differently because we were asked to do a festival in Chicago. But So we're going to be doing New Orleans, but just not around Halloween. But we love Halloween. I personally love all things Halloween. There really isn't a lot of things about Halloween that I don't love. It is the time of the pumpkin.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. I was going to say, I feel like we judge all other holidays by Halloween. Like there's Thankfulween and Christmaween and Halloween and Valentine, and it's all just a fancy dress up time of a different time of year.
Yeah, we like the spooky times. We typically do New Orleans getaway for Halloween. We're not doing it this year, but we're going to be touring anyways, so we'll be out and about. We did have a question. Somebody was asking if we were ever planning on doing like a New Year's Eve show, and that's something was sort of in the works. We're still waiting for like final confirmation on that, but there's a potential of that happening this year in Phoenix. So we'll keep you all updated on that. Like the promoter's just figuring out right now. So if that does happen, we're thinking of doing basically what we do in New Orleans, which is the same thing, which is we spend like 2 or 3 days with some people who want to come out and actually spend time with us. We're planning on doing like an escape room together, dinner, and a private acoustic performance, plus some more activities. But that's all in the works and depends on if this show is happening or not. So we'll keep you updated.
And to answer the Halloween question, haunted houses. I love haunted houses so much. They're so much fun, and they're only during Halloween season. So, and it's coming up. I'm so excited.
Well, you sometimes work in those haunted houses.
Yeah, I worked at them for a really long time.
Yeah.
First one I ever worked at was in 2007 back in Fort Worth, Texas. It was called The Cutting Edge. And it was every year until I think 2018 after that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and now I want to like make one and direct it and everything like that. We're stepping up in the world. So if we should make an Alice haunted house. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Oh my God. That'd be so cool.
It would be so spooky and glorious.
Yeah. We're getting a question from Saren if we're going back to the Pacific Northwest next year. And yeah, I think we typically try to get out there during the summers to escape the heat of the southern quadrant of the United States, if you will. So I am definitely fairly confident we'll be back there next summer. So and if there's a huge demand, who knows? Maybe we'll be out there even sooner.
I actually wanted to speak to an interesting question that came through Twitch on who is the stronger singer in our bands. And I wanted to speak to that because I grew up in the competitive classical world. I started playing music when I was 2, and I consciously left that world because of the competition aspect. Like I didn't look at art as a means of, what's the word? I don't think that art and self-expression is something that can be measured in numbers. And I just remember growing up as a child, like seeing these score sheets where I was like, oh, she gets a 7 or 8 for technicality and maybe a 9 for interpretation. And it was so strange to see numbers next to these things in such black and white terms. And, one of the big goals when I started Alice with Scott and Gordon is that I wanted it to be a safe place for artists. And so we created this community around us, not just as musicians, but also with dancers and filmmakers, just artists all around, visual artists, where I wanted it to be a safe space where people could feel like they could grow and flourish and express themselves fully. And that's the kind of culture that I want to continue to cultivate, not just within the band, but within the Mad Hatter Army. So like, while it might work in other places, like I'm sure that there's, definitely merit to growing and evolving in terms of technique. Like I think within the Alice culture and within the Mad Hatter Army, like we really like to keep things where it's like everyone has something very valuable and worthy to say. And that's something that I stand very strongly behind.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I don't think any one of us as artists are any less, you know, and this goes for all y'all that are out there. Like, I see that there are a lot of artists out there, and like, I want to encourage you to really see your own worth, like see your own self-worth, like, you know that you have something uniquely and important to say, that no one else can say, and that your voice is so important in this world. So like, that is something that I think is so important, and I'm so grateful to be in this band that is on the same page in that regard.
Yeah, no, I'm totally on board with that. Like, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of competition in our culture too, like when it comes to music or any sort of entertainment. So like culturally, like it's sort of this weird expectations, but we try to stay away from that. You know, it's no battle. We're all here just to make some art.
Absolutely.
Let's see, what other questions? Who has some questions? There's probably a bunch that I missed here.
Ooh,
so
a haunted Alice house. I love
oh
this
boy.
idea. Ooh, so Carl, you being our resident haunt actor, how would you make an Alice haunted house?
Okay, first I would cater it to only our fears, so everything would be constantly 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
All the time. No, that's the thing. Like, one idea that I have always had for like haunted houses is to actually do some sort of survey and figure out what people's not like super deep personal nightmares are, just like kind of the general idea of like what people most have nightmares about, like getting sucked into a couch or, you know, being like trapped somewhere or something like that, and figuring that out, and then not catering exactly that, but just building something sort of around that. And I used to work at one where you had to do the whole thing by yourself. And I do like that aspect of it, but also I like having your friends with you. So that would be a big part of it, is like you have your own group and only your group gets to go through. That way you're not getting caught up with these people in front of you or somebody else isn't coming up behind you and everything. You get your own experience and everything. So there's many ideas that I want to do just to scare people for a really long time. And it's,
I feel like, Carl, you could like design these things as a career. Like, you have so many awesome ideas, and I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So like,
no,
that's
like
amazing.
I fully plan on doing that at some point. I gotta find somebody who will just let me direct at least one set or something, or just like one room. So, and once I do that, then I just need a whole bunch of money from everybody, and we'll set one up, and we'll be good. But yeah, I absolutely love haunted houses, especially whenever they are actually thought out, because they can be so theatrical. They can be so beautiful as well. I worked at one for Warner Brothers one year, and I'm not sure necessarily if it was quote unquote scary, because it wasn't a lot of jump scares or anything, but just the spectacle of it, the lighting, the set design, the atmosphere, everything about it was just so like intricate and beautiful. And I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. I like that. I like giving a nice spectacle to look at. So we'll combine really cool sets with nightmarish themes and see what happens. We'll see.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll turn Steve's house into the first one.
I like it that we're voluntolding him. Steve, your house will be the haunted house.
Well, we just shot a whole music video with a bunch of mannequins in his house, so you know.
We did scare the bejeebus out of him.
We scared him really bad.
We did.
Wait, who did you scare?
He scared Steve.
Poor Steve. We left the mannequins in the other room, but they were just hanging out like on the couch. And he came in and he told us it was totally scary to come home. And then I thought about it. I was like, oh, if I had thought about it, I would have like taken them apart and laid them back down so that they weren't just humans in the room.
Because they were standing up. They were positioned in one of the living rooms that we weren't even shooting in. And oh man, I just wish I could have seen it. Wish I could have seen it happen. But yeah, that was. I'm so sorry, Steve. Oh goodness.
I scared because they're in my apartment now.
Oh, the mannequins, right?
Two of the mannequins are in my apartment. One of them has to go back to where they came from, but two of them are in my apartment and scared the bejeebus out of my roommate. I forgot to mention that they were in the window, and like my roommate was going down to get something and I heard the scream. Like I was just like, oh, by the way, there's some mannequins now. So yeah, apparently just gotta warn people.
Oh yeah. Or don't. I just keep that going.
I figured I would leave them in the window and like decorate them for the holidays.
That's
Like
a good
they
idea.
could be the Christmas tree or the Halloween costumes or Easter ears or whatever,
Yeah, it's just the year-round Christmas tree, just to keep in mind what season you're in.
Peter said we should do a haunted house on New Year's Eve. No one would expect it. And I think that's a great idea.
Peter, you're so rad.
Yeah. Cool. Is there any other questions that you guys might have caught? Rick was asking, do we do this every Sunday? We actually, right now, we're doing it every other Sunday, but I think we're going to do this again next Sunday. Right, Sash? And Tosh, I know you guys mentioned we're going to be bringing potentially a special guest on.
Yeah, we are
and
actually
then,
we're going to be bringing
Oh,
Lennon.
yeah.
Lennon is actually our featured dancer in the See Me video that's coming up. And she is absolutely incredible. She's been in a lot of our music videos. She was in Mirage and Breathe and Lena Confusion, and she's just amazing. I'm actually taking one of her dance classes this evening. I'm super excited about. But she's going to be coming onto the stream with us next week. And it'll be awesome to hang out with her. She's so inspiring, just an incredible human. She's not just a dancer, but she's also an actress, and she actually created something called the Boomstick Theater. A hilarious comedian. She started getting into stand-up. So just incredible, multi-talented artist. So I think y'all will enjoy hanging out with her too. So yeah, we're excited to have her there next week.
That's going to be fun. And then we're going to be doing our full-on live stream tour event kickoff with the See Me music video release and the single release. So that's going to be awesome. That's September 26th. So definitely make sure to come hang for that. And yeah, other than that, is there any other questions? I can't see anything. See a lot of stuff about couch cushions.
I think now we're all going to be frightened of the couch that eats you whole.
Oh boy.
Has nobody else had a nightmare about that?
Have you seen Killer Sofa? Have you seen Killer
Sofa?
Oh,
no, I haven't.
I have not seen Killer Sofa.
Killer Sofa.
Okay. On the list. Got it. Killer Sofa. Well,
so getting asked if we're going to be doing some shows in Arizona, and yes, absolutely. We consider Arizona to be definitely one of our absolute beloved places. We actually have played more in Arizona than in California this year. So we are really looking forward to getting back out there. There's talk of either a December or January show in Phoenix. So we will keep you posted as soon as we get those details together. So yeah, for sure. And Taz is asking if we are going to be releasing a dance tutorial for the new album. And actually, yeah, we are going to be putting together something fun with Lennon to start with. So
for See Me, sure.
Yeah, it was a very dance heavy project. So yes, there will be dance. Yeah, are there any other questions? Oh, Steve is asking if we're coming to Pennsylvania. And yes, we are actually going to be in Pittsburgh on October 7th for the Vampire Ball. All of our event pages are up to date at this point for the upcoming tour, so you can check out our events on either Facebook or Bands in Town, also on Songkick if you do Spotify. And you can see that we're going to be hopefully either close to you or coming soon. So, but we are going to be in Pennsylvania in the next month. So,
Yes.
yes,
Vampire's Ball, right?
yes,
Playing
yes,
the Vampire Ball.
yeah.
Cindy was asking if the Kate Bush music video was an influence on us.
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of our influences show on this next one. For See Me, like both musically and visually. So we definitely like really dove deep into our inspirations, like each one of us collectively. So I think that's part of the excitement that we're bubbling up here, is that we got to really like go deep into, you know, art that has influenced us. So yeah.
Sweet. All right. Well, if there's no, oh wait, oh yeah, okay, I see that question. We answered that. YouTube, when is the Perfect Circle tribute coming out? That's a good question. I'm not totally sure. We will definitely let you all know once there's a date set up for that. That's something we're really excited about. This song came out way beyond our own expectations. So yes, we're definitely very excited about that, and we will let you know soon. As soon as we're ready. I think for now we're going to focus on See Me, and then once that's out in the world, you know, we'll probably start pushing out the Perfect Circle one. So very excited.
Well, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us today, and for sharing your wonderful energy and your awesome questions. Like, we're really grateful, and it's always such a joy to get to spend this time together. So thank you so much. Hopefully we will see some of you guys live, and if not, we'll catch you on one of these streams.
Yay! Happy Sunday!
Much love.
Bye.